Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honors unto my elder apostles, a great millstone, and peace and salutation to the hopeful members of the elect, the Bacharim, the house of David, that's been preordained, predestined to get delivered in these last times and to be the ruling governing body of the nation of Yashala. I want to go into the digital ID, and like Elder Yashawamba said, these past few years, since 2020, they have been systematically setting up this digital ID and digital currency, the CBDC, because it's all going to tie into the MOTB, the CHIP, all right? It's all going to tie into that new system they want to set up. I did a video on this before, but for some reason it didn't load. I was real disappointed, but nevertheless, here again, all right? It's the 28th of June, all right, June 28th. Okay, so this is from Zero Hedge. They want to implement a global system of digital identification for all that will be connected to our bank accounts. Sunday, June 25th, 2023. All right, this is when it was published. That's right. They want to implement a global system of digital identification for all that will be connected to our bank accounts. They want total control, Esau Edom, that is. Okay, particularly the elites, because they want to track everyone. Okay, and this is like the pre warm up, if you will. Okay, let's get Revelation, the 13th chapter. This is to get everyone gradually. This is to gradually get everyone locked in. So when they do usher the CHIP, everyone has been conditioned, you see, into accepting and having a digital ID already, the CBDC, all right? So they're doing everything gradually. This devil is likened unto a snake. A snake does things gradually, very cunningly too, and that is Esau Edom, all right? He's very cunning, okay? He's not going to come at you right away with the CHIP. Now, this has been in the makings for decades, all right? And they have been systematically, gradually conditioning the minds of these people to get used to certain things, all right? Money, credit cards, and now paying on your phones. And soon it's going to be that digital ID, the CBDC, the next month, I believe the FedNow. So again, that's all a trap to condition the minds of these people because they're like sheep, all right? And we're all like sheep, okay? But you have the bad shepherd, which is Esau Edom, and Lord willing, I'm part of the elect, but the hopeful members, the elect, our shepherd is Yahushai, and we're following into the way of Yahushai, who the world ignorantly calls in Jesus Christ, okay? His true name is Yahushai, who looks like a so-called black man, by the way, okay? So let's get Revelation 13, verse 16, because again, it's all going to tie into the MOTB system, and I'll go back to the article, because they want to track everyone. You have the digital ID, all right, the CBDC, that's going to, the CBDC, starting with the Fed now, everything's going to be tracked, but especially with that CBDC, okay? But everything's going to be tracked, all right? It's not going to be under-the-counter type of payments. No, they're going to know what transaction you're making, and the whole WEF, the World Economic Forum, they want to actually be in control of your transactions. You could buy this much food for this month, all right? Klaus Schwab, his whole carbon tracking as well, universal basic income, all right? You'll be given this certain amount of money, all right? This is Revelation 13, verse 16. And it says, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or on their foreheads. All right, that mark is a CHIP. If you go into the Greek, the word mark is charagma, that engraven idol, that CHIP, that all, which is that digital all. You go into the root word is charax, the palisade, the stake, the needle, the syringe. And the latter root word is graphos, your writings, database, information. You see? So all this, they're gradually setting up this whole system, all right? They're not doing it all at once. They want you to get used to the digital ID, then used to the digital currency, the CBDC. All right, the Fed now first, and the CBDC, which countries are already taking. So then when it's all said and done, they're going to start introducing the chip, all right? Get people, condition the minds of the people to take that. I don't believe it'll be right away at first, but or like it'll be mandatory, but sooner or later, it will come down to it being mandated, all right? Like it tells you actually in Revelation, the 20th chapter, verse 4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua and for the word of God, Yahweh Shemashai, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Hamashiach 1,000 years. Right, so certain members of the elect will get beheaded for not taking that sihib. But that's going to be done to everyone. If you don't get down with their program, take their sihib, all right, you're going to be either sent to the nearest FEMA camp, wherever, all right, you're going to be sent to the nearest FEMA camp. You're basically going to be cut off from their society, all right? You have to live off the grid, okay? And that's why the scriptures say we'll have to be like pilgrims upon the earth, because we're not going to be under this man's system real soon when they start implementing that sihib, all right, and really mandating it, okay? Because how else are you going to buy food? Again, we go back to Revelation. It's anything. You're going to have to take that shit, all right? But we serve Yahweh Shemashai, and we don't serve this devil, this Edomite. So we're definitely going to reject that, all right? But it says, verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So you won't buy or sell unless you have that mark. But let's get into the article now. All right. It says, it doesn't take a genius to figure out where this could be heading. For a moment, I would like you to imagine a rather chilling fictional scenario. Not too far in the future, all global citizens are required to possess proper digital identification, or else they will not be permitted to access the new global digital financial system, right? It's all being set in order, all right? All of this, okay? To graft in the people, to condition them, okay? It's all gradualism. So then again, when that CHIP does come, all right, everything has already been set in place. You see? They can add your information, your identification, your money, your bank account, link it all to that CHIP, okay? It says, central banks all over the globe have rolled out their new central bank digital currencies. But in order to use those currencies, you must prove that you are who you say you are. And the only way to do that is with a new global system of digital identification that has been introduced. As cash is phased out, those that resist being part of the new global system are increasingly pushed to the outer fringes of society. Hardly anyone is willing to employ them any longer. It has become virtually impossible for them to get loans, and they are looked down upon by much of the general population. And then after the vast majority of the global population has willingly signed up for the new global system of digital identification, it is announced that the system will now become mandatory, and that's what they're doing. It's all gradualism. Ah, dang. I went out. Okay. But hey, look at that. That's the spirit. Actually, let me go out one more time. Look, East Palestine launched a digital ID program days before disaster. United Nations planning digital ID linked to bank accounts. All right, man, I might get that one next. Maybe might do a separate lesson on that. Okay, but yeah, all right, that's how they're doing it. All gradualism. First, it's there. You have the option to take it or not. but then it'll become mandatory. All right, that's how it's being done. And I always say, look at China first, because China is like the guinea pig, all right, of all these countries. It seems like they always, do things in China first as like test runs. But China, they don't pay for, they don't pay with cash anymore. Paper money is obsolete. They all pay with their phones, all right? And they have a credit score system out there where you're watched, you're tracked, all right? If you do something, you jaywalk, you can't access the ATM machine that day, or go to your bank, or hop on any transportation, okay? This is what they're doing. And again, like I said, it's all gradualism. Soon it become mandatory, all right? Actually, let me just I'll keep reading. I might get that later. I was thinking of something else, but let's continue. Let me see, where was I at? Okay, right here. It says, it is announced that the system will now become mandatory. That means that anyone that does not submit will not be able to buy, sell, or get a job or have a bank account. All right. And that's how they're going to do the same thing with the CHIP. All right. They're going to do the same thing with the CHIP. Hey, we're going to fall under getting a digital ID and a digital currency. But once that CHIP comes, oh, hell no, we ain't taking that. Of course, may the Lord have the Spirit on us, because it's not up to us, up to the Most High. Okay. He has to put the Spirit on us and not take it. It's all up to Yahweh Bashim Al Shah. But you won't be able to buy, sell, or get a job or have a bank account. You'll be like an outcast, outcast of the society. Okay. It says, you may think that I'm exaggerating the dangers of a global system of digital identification. I wish that I was. Once a global system of digital identification is introduced, it will rapidly become our most important form of ID. It will become more important than your driver's license and more important than your social security, because they're going to link everything on that, okay? Pretty quickly, it will become required for almost every financial transaction that you make online. Yeah, that's what they're going to do it. A lot of people may think that that would be a good thing. After all, there are so many scammers and thieves on the internet these days. And I will agree that there is a need for more financial security on the internet. But I am 100% against any type of global digital ID system because the potential of reading too fast, because the potential for tyranny would be off the charts. Let's get that word tyranny. Actually, I want to get on that. That's Amon. Okay, tyranny. Cruel or unjust use of power, right? And it will become tyranny, all right? Cruel or unjust use of power. From Greek tyrannia or Latin tyrannia, the same thing in Greek, rule of a tyrant, absolute power, from tyrannos, master, so a cruel master. And Esau is that cruel master, okay? And he will make your life a living hell, all right? Again, having a CHIP in you, all right? Hell, just having a passport and driver's license and some form of identification, that's already some type of form of tyranny, because who are you to say that we can't travel this earth that the Lord has made? All right. The Lord made this earth really for us Israelites, but all inhabitants can enjoy it. Okay. Who are you to say that I can't go to? I had to be in order to go to this country. All right, to go to Thailand, right? I had to have a passport. Who are you? They didn't do that in the ancient days. You just went. You saw some land. You wanted to set up like a house over there or whatever. You just did it. All right. If you had the knowledge to do it, you did it. Now you got to get a permit and this and that. All right. A title for this, you know. So we're already living in a tyrannical society. All right. But it's going to get worse. It's going to get even more cruel, more draconian. All right. So much so when they do introduce that CHIP, once it becomes mandatory, you'll be sent to the nearest FEMA camp. All right. You'll be executed, and they're already bringing back the what do you call it, the form of execution where you get shot by guns, all right, by rifles, okay, and being beheaded. And they're and who was it, under what president, I forgot, but they ordered guillotines, all right, and people have been driving in certain areas off, like on the outskirts of cities, and they found like coffins. Now, what are those coffins doing there? Because they're going to put people in those coffins real soon. All right, send you to the nearest FEMA camp. And then they really want depopulation. All right, these elites want depopulation. Remember the Georgia Guidestones that got blown up, which really I think that was from the Chariot, but keep humanity under 500 million. But again, who are you to even say that? The Lord said, be fruitful, multiply. But again, we live in a tyrannical society, and it's going to get worse and more cruel, okay? Unfortunately, that is exactly the type of system that is now being proposed by policymakers at the United Nations. And May 2023 policy brief entitled A Global Digital Compact, an open, free, and secure digital future for all. We are told that an open, free, secure, and human-centered digital future is absolutely critical for the attainment of the sustainable development goals. The present brief proposes the development of a global digital compact that will set out principles, objectives, and actions for advancing an open, free, secure, and human-centered digital future, one that is anchored in universal human rights and that enables the attainment of the Sustainable Development Goals. It outlines areas in which the need for multi-stakeholder digital cooperation is urgent, and sets out a global digital compact can help on how it's like, and it sets out how a global digital compact, all right, GDC, I'll call it that, can help to realize the commitment in the declaration on the commemoration of the 75th anniversary of the United Nations, right? Which, this whole beast system, all right, they're all, this is Esau's beast system, and they all have this agenda, all right, to set out this, world tracking system, all right? They want full power, all right? They ultimately want to be like the Most High, but they want to bring out that CHIP, okay? Because this beast system is ran by who? The international banking families, all right? The Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the DuPonts, the Gettys, and so on. But they all have one goal in mind: to track everyone, to, bring complete wicked domination, all right, on all inhabitants, okay, to make you an eternal slave. And that's by, again, digital ID, then the digital currency, but that's all going to link to the to the MOTB, the chip, all right. It says General Assembly resolution to shaping a shared vision on digital cooperation by providing an inclusive global framework. Such a framework required to overcome digital data, the governance required for a sustainable digital future. Most people in the general population will not be too alarmed after reading that introductory paragraph, but as they say, the devil is in the details. Woo! If you go to page 8 of the policy brief, you will find the section where a system of digital identification linked with bank or mobile money accounts is proposed. Digital IDs linked with bank or mobile money accounts can, it's like I just want to check the time, can improve the delivery of social protection coverage and serve to better reach eligible beneficiaries. Digital technologies may help to reduce leakage, errors, and costs in the design of social protection programs. All right, you see? So that's how they're doing it, man. Okay, they're laying out this framework. Again, the digital ID, CBDC, but all in all, it's going to tie into the MOTB, the chip. All right. Okay. I briefly mentioned this the other day, but I don't think that most people understood the implications that this has for all of us. Let me see how much there is. Okay, not that much. Okay. Under such a system, if your digital Slovakia, under such a system, if your social credit score gets too low, you could be put in digital jail. Yep, like I just mentioned in China, be locked out of a bank for a day. For a certain period of time, your digital privileges will be suspended for a while, and that will mean that you cannot buy, sell, or live your normal life for the duration of your punishment. Of course, if you insist on being a repeat offender enough times, you could have your digital privileges revoked permanently. What would you do then? Would you be able to buy or sell anything? No, you know? And this devil is causing, toxins to be released in the air and farms being destroyed. So really, who can even go out and farm? All right, this devil wants to take over the farmlands like Bill Gates, and now they're cloning chicken and all types of evil and madness that they're doing. But let's just say you do want to go out in the wilderness. Well, this devil's trying to destroy the earth, and soon, that would be a law. All right, you can't go out on the outskirts and have your own farm or do this without the law, without this title or something. All right, you can't do this because that will go against our law. All right, because we need to have access to these other lands. All right, to bring in the food and the produce. It's just all madness. Okay, and really, how many people know how to hunt? All right, even start a fire. Okay, it says you wouldn't be able to get a job, you wouldn't be able to have a bank account. At best, you will be a total outcast from society. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. Don't be fooled into thinking that this sort of system is a long way off. 3 months from now, the European Union, or the EU, okay, which is part of the beast system, all right, the beast system, the fourth Roman Empire revived all over again, all right, you see, compromised the NATO and EU, all right, with America, that Babylon the Great being that whore that sitteth upon the beast, will mandate that all member states offer a digital identity wallet. See, it's 3 months from now. Okay, to every single one of their citizens and businesses. The EU will mandate digital identity under ELDAS 2.0, which will go into effect in September 2023 and ensure all member states offer a digital identity wallet, DIW, to citizens and businesses according to the European Commission. At least 80% of citizens should be able to use a digital ID solution to access key public services by 2030. And they're going to do this, way sooner than that. The scriptures even say how the Lord's going to shorten the days for the elect's sake. We're talking about, Lord willing this year, but it could be next year, it could be 2025. All right, but we're not that far off. Okay, I don't believe we have 2030. All right, but we'll all see. But we know that the time is very near because look what's going on. It's like something's happening every day, every week. Something dramatic is happening. It's happening. You see? Initially, participation by individuals and businesses in the EU system will be voluntary. But over the past few years, we have seen how quickly voluntary measures can become mandatory. Right? When I say that we are living in one of the most critical times in all of human history, I'm not joking. Yeah. Yeah, and the prophets have been telling you this. Start with the elder apostles of GMS. We've been telling you this. Now we didn't know, we didn't know it was going to go in this type of aspect, if you will. All right, the whole digital ID, CBDC, Fed now. But we did know that the MOTB, the chip, was going to be implemented. But it does make sense how it has to come like this, because everything is gradualism. People, the minds had to be conditioned to accept this new way of living. All right, like the brother Bakwar Moth was saying, people are, it's on our like DNA, if you will. All right, people are programmed to accept what they're used to. All right, rapid change, okay, will totally mess up the whole plans. All right, for these elites, so they gotta do everything in gradualism. Okay, so we did know that the chip was gonna come. Okay, but it's coming in such a gradual form of, again, digital ID, CBDC, all right, digital currency. That's what they're doing it. It says there's a reason why the UK and the EU and the US are all getting ready to roll out CBDCs, right? And there is a reason why digital identification has suddenly become such a hot issue. They really do want to build a digital prison for all of us, and if you plan to object, the time to do so is now. All right, but ultimately, Yahweh Shah is going to come back and dismantle all of that. All right before this, devil, really thinks he thinks that he's going to establish his new world order, but he's not. Okay, you'll get some people chipped, masses of people chipped, but definitely not the elect. All right, definitely not the elect. No, and if you take that, Revelation the 14th chapter, the presence of the Lamb, the holy angels, you're gonna be nuked with nuclear missiles. All right, those that are here in Babylon the Great, America. Because we trust in Yahweh Shemashah that he's going to guide us, protect us, feed us. As it says in Isaiah, the 65th chapter, we're going to eat, drink, and rejoice, while everyone else is going to be in famine, hunger, thirst, and be ashamed. Job 5, verse 12, he disappointed the devices of the crafty. So he is Yahushai, the devices of the crafty. The Edomites are the international banking families, particularly the house of Amalek, their whole NWO. The Lord's going to dismantle that, so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise, their NWO. All right, they're not going to be able to establish it. All right. Now they're going to be able to come in, like it says in Revelation 12, verse 12. He knows that he has but a short time, so he's going to come down with great wrath. A lot of people are going to die. All right, this is what it is. A lot of people are going to die. It's going to be crazy upon this earth, a time like never before, and people are going to get that chip. All right, we're gonna be like pilgrims living on the outskirts, and it's gonna be crazy. All right, but Esau Edom, will not accomplish his goals. All right, because Yahweh Shah is gonna return in the midst of this man and what he's doing. All right, and World War III is gonna be popped off right after that too, when the chip gets, implemented, mandatory. And then the Lord's going to pop out of the midst of that. I don't know what day, because the scriptures say we don't know what day, not even the Lord himself, but only Yahweh, the Heavenly Father. But the Lord's going to come, all right? America's going to get nuked. The elect is going to get delivered, beamed up, all right? Then we're going to come back down as gods upon the earth, and we're going to take the kingdom. And dominion is going to be given unto us, and the kingdom of heaven is going to be established forever. And righteousness is going to reign this earth, all right? And this wicked authority, this wicked power, or this wicked a nation, Esau Edom, all right, that's in power, he's going to be put out. All right. So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai, Ba'Hashem Rachah HaKodash, double honors to my apostles, a great millstone, and peace and salutation to hopeful members of the elect. Shalom.